The story of Atlas Gym is a long one. They defied the state lockdown order. They eventually got barred from their own building. They kicked the door in. They've lost their business license. They are being threatened with imprisonment, but they refuse to back down. And now, perhaps in one of the most clever ways, they will remain open. They lost their business license. They can't even operate until now. New Jersey gym owners partner with GOP Senate campaign to keep business open. That's right. It's a political campaign rally every day now at the gym. My friends, we actually have a real resistance. Not this phony anti-Trump resistance garbage where they're super wealthy, celebrities who just hate Trump for whatever random reason the media told them to hate him for today. Now, I'm talking about real people who are saying you cannot violate my constitutional rights. It's not just this gym. I kind of feel bad. I feel like this other story should be getting a lot more attention, or at least comparable attention. It's our right to earn a living. Defiant New Jersey diner couple uses GoFundMe donations to pay off their $1,000 tickets for letting customers eat inside. Once again, people are standing up to these draconian laws and unconstitutional edict, and they're being attacked by the state for doing so. It's not just here, it's also in New York. New York City restaurant owner. Restaurants will not survive the year, with de Blasio dismissing indoor dining. It will devastate us. And you see, that's why this couple in New Jersey is saying we are going to remain open. And now, hundreds gather outside City Hall calling for defunding de Blasio. People are starting to stand up. They're doing it in clever ways, and they're doing it directly. Direct protest, direct, civil disobedience. But this right here, the first story we're going to talk about, possibly one of the smartest we've seen. You may have seen that viral video where Donald Trump was giving a press conference, and one of these journalists, I'll do air quotes, says that the people there to visit Trump at his golf course weren't, wearing masks or I'm sorry, they weren't social distancing. And Trump said it's a peaceful protest. And this lit up the internet because I don't think Trump was trying to be funny when he said it. I said, look, they know the media is coming. They're here in defiance and they're all wearing masks. But they tried dragging Trump supporters. Meanwhile, they support all of the ongoing riots and protests, and it's like clockwork. These people don't have an original thought in their head. Whatever the media says, they just follow along with. I'll tell you what. I recently had Brandon Strzok on the show, the founder of the Walk Away campaign, and he talked about getting into it with a flight attendant over his mask, and I simply said, I'd have just worn the mask. I think you should have worn the mask. And he had no problem laughing about it. And even though I was like, we have a clear difference of opinion on a lot of issues, we had a fine time talking about these things and ending in disagreement. I think he's a good dude. I think it was fun. On the left, they don't seem to have that for the most part. I'm not saying everybody's perfect, but the way I describe it is inverse proportions. Whatever the right is right now, I'm doing air quotes, because it's a larger coalition of like liberals and conservatives, center-right, libertarian. There's a willingness to have a conversation and end on disagreement, but still remain civil and hang out, have pizza and beers. On the left, they'll scream in your face. They'll cancel you. They cancel their own. Obama himself called it a circular firing squad. So anyway, I digress. You can see this phenomenon happening. Whatever is going on now, this is the real resistance, okay? They call themselves the resistance. It's dumb. Let's read about how people are actually resisting unconstitutional edict. New Jersey gym owners partner with GOP Senate campaign to keep business open. Embattled Atlas gym owners Ian Smith and Frank Trombetti partnered with a local political candidate running for the U.S. Senate in an effort to keep the state of New Jersey from closing their gym. Atlas Gym is now a designated campaign rally, I'm clapping, and volunteer location for Rick Mehta for Senate in New Jersey. Smith and Trombetti revealed early Friday night. All members are invited to join us in exercising their rights by coming to the facility to volunteer their time, donate, and participate in activities, they said. 2 days after the Belmar, New Jersey gym was fined nearly $130,000 for repeatedly defying Governor Phil Murphy's executive order to stay closed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rick Mehta, a GOP Senate candidate challenging Senator Cory Booker, joined forces with the gym owners. I'm going to tell you something, man. Joe Biden, he said it straight up that if he gets elected, we're locking the country down. Everyone's going to wear a mask. So if you want the shutdown to go on, by all means, vote for Joe Biden. And that's what he's betting on. Democrats in big cities panicked and just saying, shut it all down. Even though Italy, seeing a spike, says, no, we're not shutting down. Even though Spain is reticent to shut down. Americans are at least the left. They're hysterical over this. We've done the best we could. Let's all take a chill pill and figure out the best way to bring people's lives back. Otherwise, it's going to get particularly devastating with 30 to 40 million evictions. And it's already getting bad. They say Smith told the Washington Examiner that the state of New Jersey has been notified of this designation. Any fines levied or attempt to barricade our doors would now be a political interference with an active Senate campaign, he said in a statement. Rick Mehta has been one of the only political figures in New Jersey to show his support for the rights of small businesses. Where others have spoken, support Rick has shown action. I don't know, whatever. Mehta, a biotech entrepreneur, lauded their union, saying in a press release, our campaign will begin holding daily political rallies by those members who volunteer on our campaign at the Atlas Gym location in Belmar. My campaign is rooted in supporting the hardworking people of New Jersey and saving the small businesses that are the backbone of our economy, both here in New Jersey and across our great country. Atlas Gym began its legal fight with the state when it reopened in May, and Trombetti and Smith challenged whether Murphy's order for non-essential businesses to remain closed was constitutional. Trombetti and Smith insist that they have taken proper social distancing precautions to keep their clients safe. And I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't view this for the most part as a stunt. I really don't. Think about it. Rick Mehta wants to prove to the people of New Jersey he's in favor of small business. So setting up a campaign office at a very high profile area is just good politics. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people on the left saying it's a loophole and they're endangering people. I think it's actually, it's two birds with one stone. It's a win-win. Of course, it allows Atlas to remain open. It sends a message. But in reality, the owners of Atlas have every reason to support Rick Mehta, who's supporting them. He's a politician. They clearly want to win. He supports small businesses. So instead of letting this just shut down, he's probably literally turning it into a campaign rally. Brilliant play. I mean, I was not familiar with Rick Mehta. Now I am. And you know how I feel about the lockdowns, the unconstitutional edict. There's no room for anybody to figure out how to navigate this. There was one story that was going around a while ago where a guy actually at his restaurant created isolated bubbles where people could sit outside in a bubble and it got shut down. They told him to remove it. I don't know where it was or whatever, but the point is, at many places in the U.S., you could say something like, we have proper social distancing and we'll be outside. They shut him down anyway. There was a lady in New Jersey. She was live streaming from her show, from her store online after hours. And the cops came in and said, you got to shut down. You got to close. And she goes, we are closed. No, you can't live stream and sell products. How does that have anything to do with COVID? That's the problem. That's what we need to talk about. Hey, man, look, I'm all in favor of, public health and safety measures. I think it's important people follow the law. I understand civil disobedience. I think wearing a mask is fine. But if there's no opportunity to navigate this crisis, then the only option is draconian edict. No, you're going to get resistance then. Here's the press release. Atlas Gym owners join Meta Finance Committee. For immediate release, quote, today, I am proud, and this is from the 21st, mind you, I am proud to announce that the owners of Atlas Gym, Ian Smith and Frank Trombetti, have joined the Rick Mehta for U.S. Senate Campaign Finance Committee. Effective immediately, our campaign will begin holding daily political rallies by those members who volunteer on our campaign at the Atlas Gym location in Belmar. My campaign is rooted in supporting the hardworking people of New Jersey and saving the small businesses that are the backbone of our economy, both here in New Jersey and across the great country, our great country. Our constitutional rights are sacred to all Americans, and elected officials who believe the Bill of Rights are above their pay grade degrade the American dream. We will continue to be a loud vocal voice for those who have been silenced and treated unfairly by overreaching politicians. I stand shoulder to shoulder with Ian, Frank, and all the hardworking, dedicated small business owners who just want a fair shake, and I will continue to fight alongside all of them. Together, we will make New Jersey a place to live, not leave. Come join us every day from now until Election Day to join our political workout fundraisers and at the same time exercise your First Amendment rights. Stand up in defense of our fellow citizens, our Constitution, and our great nation, and together, let's be Jersey proud. And then for more information, they have their email address. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. If Black Lives Matter and political rallies are allowed, well, then so is this. And they're going to be having fundraiser workout sessions. It works. It's legitimate. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's legit. You've got this political issue. The Democrats are coming after this business. The Republican is stepping in. It is overtly political. And what they're doing absolutely makes sense. I got to say, Rick Mehta, brilliant move coming in. I don't know who reached out to who, but I got to tell you, man, that is, I'm in awe about how smart this is. But look, it's not just Atlas Gym. I'd be interested to see if Rick Mehta will start going to other businesses and turn them all into designated campaign rally offices or whatever. Take a look at this. It's our right to earn a living. There's another New Jersey couple. Here's a photo. Brian and Debbie Brindisi, who own Lakeside Diner in New Jersey, have continued to defy state orders and local police in order to allow indoor dining. They say the owners of a New Jersey diner have continued to defy state orders and local police in order to allow indoor dining. Debbie said they immediately went to the establishment where they found deputies from the Ocean County Sheriff's Office, a locksmith, and the Lacey Township Police. Wow. Look at this. Locksmiths showed up. She said they were in the process of changing the locks when her husband, Brian, managed to get inside. By 7 a.m., the Brandisis had opened their restaurant to diners inside and outside the business. According to NJ.com, the couple have opened their doors to indoor dining since June in order to stay financially afloat amid the coronavirus pandemic. So what do you think happens now? When you see these other businesses, will see Atlas Gym and they'll see this diner. How many small businesses are saying right now, I'm losing money. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my car. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to get evicted. I can't pay my bills. My power will get shut off. What's going to happen? And then they see these other businesses are opening up, finding ways to keep making money. Now, the fines, of course, are meant to hold them down. You can't make money if the government is trying to steal it from you as soon as you do with fines and tickets. But I'm willing to bet a lot of people are going to say no dice, and they're going to start engaging in this. Now, I am absolutely not saying anyone should. That's not the point. I actually think, it's a rock and a hard place, and optics are important. We got an election season right now. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I will say it is brilliant what Rick Mehta is doing, for sure. And the reason I bring up the election season is that optics matter. I mean, to be fair, there's probably a lot of people in New Jersey who are mad about this. We'll see who wins in the end. But it is a political play. It is a political issue. So I'll leave it at that. Let's read more. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy indefinitely banned indoor dining in late June after seeing spikes in other states driven by, in part, the return of indoor dining. As a result, businesses in the state have to rely on outdoor seating and delivery and to-go orders. Debbie also shared images of the locksmith outside their restaurant saying, "You would think that they wouldn't because they're trespassing. But I guess because it was an executive order from our wonderful governor, they didn't want to do it, but they're doing their jobs as well." I don't care. I don't care if you're a locksmith. I don't care if you're a plumber. I don't care if you're a groundskeeper. Don't go on other people's property if at the behest of an unconstitutional edict. This is dangerous, man. I was ragging on some of these cops just in the last segment, the ones that are pushing unconstitutional orders from executives. You can't do it. And if we inch down this path, it's just going to be bad. I'll just put it that way. It's scary to me because people are accepting that anybody can just defy what is absolutely what is legal. They just do illegal things. The governor has no right to do what he's doing. Absolutely not. But here we are. Now, this couple has a GoFundMe for Lakeside Diner. They raised $1,240, and they used that to pay off their fine. This was back in June 7th. But I want to show you something, and then we're going to go outside of New Jersey. Look at this. This is from today. Italy rules out new lockdown as coronavirus cases rise. Really? The Italian government is not considering a new lockdown to curb coronavirus infections, Health Minister Roberto Speranza said in a newspaper interview on Sunday, despite a steady rise in new cases over the past month. Italy was one of the worst hit. On Saturday, reported 1,071 new cases, exceeding 1,000 cases in a day for the first time since the government eased its rigid lockdown. "We will not have a new lockdown," he said. Speranza told the daily newspaper, saying, "The current situation cannot be compared to February or March when the disease was spreading out of control and it was difficult to track and isolate infected people. I am optimistic, although prudent, our National Health Service has become much stronger." Speranza added that Italy has doubled the number of beds in intensive care units. The number of new infections remains considerably lower, blah, blah, we get it. Italy's not locking down. Did you know that many of these emergency hospitals that were set up were never used? I think we saw something very serious, but I think we did it. We should be happy about this. This is what I can't stand about the left. You see, I'm absolutely in favor of social policy. The way I described it the other night on the IRL podcast is, if we set up a social program to teach people how to fish and then cast them off to go fish, like, there you go, you can go do your thing. You're empowering people to empower themselves. If you create a program where you give people fish, then they're not empowered to do anything by themselves. They become dependent upon you. And that's probably the goal. What we need are people to be responsible for themselves. But here's the main point. We did it. We succeeded. The left doesn't want to acknowledge a program is working or failing because they want to maintain that program. They want to maintain that power. They don't want someone to learn how to fish. They want to be the fish provider so that they have that person forever. That's what we're seeing now with COVID. The perfect opportunity to be in charge of everything forever. No, we came together. We locked everything down to slow the spread. We did have some hospitals overrun. We had many that weren't. That just means we did it. We did it. Congratulations, everybody. Round of applause. We all came together. We all agreed. And now, even though some cases are rising, many are asymptomatic. The death count is going way down and hospitalization is way down. We succeeded. Shouldn't we now congratulate everybody for slowing the spreads, flattening the curve? And now we have to accept it's time to reopen? At what point do we reopen? They've changed the narrative. The media used to say only for 15 days, 2 weeks. And now it's 6 months, 157 or whatever days. Or more, 160, I have no idea. Now it's about stopping COVID outright permanently. Well, it seems like they're just strangling as many businesses as possible. In New York, I showed you this. They say, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio admitted Friday he has no plan to reopen indoor dining anytime soon. So restaurant owners like Massimo Felici are banding together to consider filing a class action lawsuit against the mayor. The worrying thing to me is that what we're going to see is a breakdown in confidence of government, meaning these people might just start opening their businesses and saying, I don't care. What are the cops going to do? They would be overwhelmed. They wouldn't be able to do anything about it. I'm curious, a class action lawsuit. Why does that matter? What the mayor is doing is outright illegal. If the cops are going to be going around committing crimes, then what is anyone supposed to do about it? At a certain point, Trump may have to send in federal authorities to stop the crimes from being committed by the local government and the police. I hear a lot of people say to me, well, you can't really blame the cops. They're just doing what they're told. I absolutely can blame them. You better know for sure whether or not you're committing an illegal action. They say ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it. And that goes for anybody, cop included. Now, again, I always say this, I'm not stupid enough to say defund the police, but I certainly don't think the police should just be saying, okay, de Blasio, whatever you say, I'll go and break the law for you. That's called corrupt cops. They get paid. They say, I want money. I need the money for my family, so I'll do illegal things. Okay, dude, that's called being corrupt. I get it. Many of these cops just have no idea what's going on. And don't be surprised when you actually have feds show up and start arresting you. I doubt it'll happen, but these cops absolutely are breaking the law. We've been seeing it for a long time. These businesses, you may actually see a loss of confidence in government, and that would be a very, very bad thing. I personally have no confidence in Bill de Blasio. I think he's run the city into the ground and doesn't care because he can't be reelected, and that's about it. But people are standing up. I want to act like it's nobody or nothing's going on. Defund de Blasio. Hundreds gather outside City Hall to protest the mayor. They say they can't stand de Blasio's policies on school openings, homelessness, crime, bail reform, small business, and street protest looters. But most of all, they can't stand him. Some 300 anti-de Blasio protesters, more than attended many of his and hers presidential campaign events, gathered in front of City Hall Park on Saturday to demand he either fix things or step down. And if you cannot do that, organizer Scott Libido told the crowd, we call on Governor Cuomo because we know you can't stand this man either. Rid us of this human waste of a mayor. The protesters carried signs reading step down de Blasio, defund de Blasio, and hey de Blasio, F me, no F you. They shouted lock him up and impeach him now and blared Twisted Sisters, we're not going to take it. Excellent choice of a song. They shouted, lock him up and impeach him now. Oh, I'm sorry. A highlight of the rally was when Libido, who is also an artist, pulled a sheet off of his hand-painted portrait of Hisner, unveiling it to the crowd, and titled "A-Hole." The portrait depicted the rear end of a donkey. "Look what he's done to this city," agreed Sergeants Benevolent Association Vice President Vinnie Valalong. "He's gone through 3 police commissioners. None of you should be worried about your parents, grandparents, or even children going to any store to get bread, milk, and having to worry about them getting assaulted with gun violence. Murders are up in the city. Burglaries are up. Grand larceny. Nothing. He's doing nothing." Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis from Brooklyn, Staten Island, who once ran against de Blasio, cracked, "Don't blame me. I didn't vote for him. It breaks my heart to see this city being destroyed," she said. "It breaks my heart to see what our mayor is doing on every front." This is the real resistance. Not some dumb celebrity on Twitter with a blue check complaining that the orange man is bad. These people are talking about their cities being destroyed, overrun with crime, people having their lives destroyed by a callous mayor who is siphoning taxpayer money for personal gain. Bill de Blasio, in my opinion, is a criminal, is corrupt, and needs to be impeached, and I think he should be indicted. You see what he did with the Black Lives Matter in the street? I'll say it a million times. He did not have the right to do that. That was at taxpayer expense with no permit, sending out police like private security. That is corruption to no end. He treats New York like it's his, and he lets everyone else suffer. I don't think we should be standing for that. So I'm glad to see people protesting and standing up. And I'm glad to see clever ways that people are going about defending their businesses, because these Democrats have no right to do what they're doing. Kristi Noem is going to be speaking at the RNC because she did right. Now, I get it. South Dakota doesn't have the population that New York does, but she resisted the media smears demanding she lock everything down. And now the state's doing pretty well. New York doesn't care about what's true and what's right. It's Bill de Blasio saying, "I won't take responsibility for anything, so just keep it locked down. I don't care. I can't be reelected anyway because of term limits." And Bill de Blasio is siphoning off money for himself. Something's got to be done. I don't know what it is, but hopefully this wakes people up and they vote him out. Some people are suggesting that New York is going to turn red. I would not be surprised. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at timcast.net. Stick around, and I will see you all then.